let's talk about the Mach 1 tool. It always begins with a test pilot, Chuck Yeager, in the year of 1947. And what's awesome, if you've never heard me talk about it, I absolutely believe we live in a magical time. You can find anything on YouTube. You can absolutely today YouTube both the cockpit recordings that I'm going to talk about, and you can YouTube what's going on the ground. Now, back then, what Chuck Yeager was trying to do was fly the XM-1, this plane, to break the sound barrier. And there was scientists that were absolutely committed, can't be done, because the closer you got to the sound barrier, the more the plane would just rattle and roll. It was almost coming apart at the seams. They had run scientific equations, much like in a handful of years in 1955-56, there were scientists saying it was physically impossible to break the 4-minute mile. They went through scientific equations that said it could not be done. Now, I want to bookmark this for a moment and talk about, living life at a 10. Now, this would be in our metaphors and in our software. If we could figure out how to do everything at a 10, this would produce a life of greatness. And living at a 10, the real question would be, how high could you go? How far could you go? But the problem for many, many people is, when you're living at a 7 and you go to live at an 8, this is really hard. It gets a lot harder, and then maybe you'll take a year or two to feel like you've done it. You've got some training, you've got some education, you've got some life experiences, you've fallen and gotten up. Maybe you got some coaching along the way. Now you want to go to an 8.5, and compared to how hard this was, this gets even harder. Take it to a 9. Oh my God, you are like that mythical plane. Your life is rattling and rolling and shaking. It is so hard that most people said, at an 8 it's hard. I can't see my way to a 9. How the heck is it going to be a 10? How can I live at 10? And now going back to the tool, I want you to understand something about what this looks like. When you're doing Mach 0.7, meaning you're 7/10 of the way there, what that means is you're in 70% of the sonic energy and 30% of it's faster. So you're not experiencing that. When you go up to 8, it's 80%, 9, 90%, only 10%. At Mach 0.99, you are rattling and rolling so bad because you are in virtually 100% of the sonic energy. And then something awesome happens. And it happens in the XM1. There's the sonic boom. Bam! You now have 100% of the energy behind you. Now you'll see people on the ground, they're like, oh my God, the plane blew up! He died! And there's the XM1 still streaking across the sky. Now when you hit this Mach 1, what happens in the cockpit? And it's because 100% of the sonic energy is behind you, it gets calm, it gets quiet, everything slows down. And ponder this, because here's the secret to living as a great man or a great woman. You have to travel faster than the speed of the bullshit that's causing your rattling and rolling and shaking. Now, you can say, hey, Bill, my bullshit is real. I've been through a Chapter 7. I'm fighting a divorce. I'm a single parent. I get that the sonic energy is real, but you've got to get faster to it. You have to know, if I can instantly accelerate to a 10, and what would that look like? Because 7 is hard, 8 is harder, 9, you can't do it, but 10, and this is in your DNA because you knew how to do this when you were a child. You lived at a 10. You laughed at a 10. You cried at a 10. You were apathetic at a 10. That's you laying in a beanbag chair watching TV. And your mom or dad goes, "Hey, little Billy, Billy, what, huh?" Because I'm zoned at a 10. You sleep at a 10. That's why children are bent over, folded in half in the car seat, and you can pick their arm up and flop their arm. They don't wake up because they're sleeping in a 10. Because everything they do, they think, they feel, they focus, they want what they want at a 10. And that's why they drive us crazy. This toy is so awesome. Then they hate that toy. Now, a lot of times when I'm using this mythical, metaphorical 4-year-old, I'm not asking you to go back or pretending that you drop your wisdom, you drop your life experience, you keep that, but remember the DNA that you have. Remember the emotional DNA that you have to want at a 10 what you want. So when you put life in this frame, when you push boundaries in this frame at a 10, and you want the love that you want, or you want the relationship moments, or you want work to be what you want, or you want your health to be what you want, or you want money to be what you want, and you do it at a 10 all out. Again, I'm not, totally every sports metaphor is perfect, but a lot of them are. I played college football. I wrestled in college. I got letters in both sports, Division I school. When you ponder, you're doing wind sprints. How many of you, one, marshal your energy so that even when the coach doesn't say we've got 5 wind sprints or 10 speed drills, we just blows the whistle and you go, you're marshaling it, but more importantly, you're only running faster than the person next to you. That's your real competitive mark. And if you can, blow wind, you'll even make it look sometimes harder than it is. So the coach will see that you're really trying. But real great champions, man, they leave it all on the field. And when you do this as a natural extension, it's not like you're going to go out tomorrow, and you're going to run at a 10. You're going to be exhausted in a very short order. This is a learning experience, whether you're doing it at work. What does it mean to do your emails, finish your inbox, turn in this report, document this process, coordinate with every person that you're supposed to, go the extra mile, leave nothing. Live at a 10, faster than the reasons why you say that you can't. That's absolutely going to make a massive, massive difference in how this shows up, how this happens for you, and what next takes place for you.